Shalom. Shalom. Manishma Yisrael. Ani Yashar Yehuda. Yahuwah Ba Hashem Yahusha. Shalom. Today's video is entitled Japheth, the black son of Noah. Again, that is Japheth, the black son of Noah. Okay, so was Japheth black or white? That is the question that have many people debating amongst the Israelites and as well as the Christians alike. So, what I will be presenting today is a preponderance of evidence that will prove that Noah's son, Japheth, is not the father of the white race, biblically known as the Edomites. But Japheth was in fact black or brown, and his descendants were black and brown. And those very same descendants, they were the first people to inhabit Europe, the lands what is referred to as Europe today. All right, for the naysayers, I have a question for you all. And that question is, do you have or can you all produce scripture that will support Japheth being born with red or white skin? Okay, again, to you naysayers, the question is, can you provide scripture that states that Japheth was born with red or white skin? That is the question. All right, because we know that we have hard evidence from Scripture that most scholars are aware of. Every scholar should be aware of. Is the verse in Genesis 25 and 25. And that verse reads, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." Again, that's Genesis 25:25. So this particular verse is giving us a precedent, establishing that a particular person was born with this red skin, and also he was hairy. Okay, so you won't find a scripture that states that Japheth came out red. Okay, so people that push that doctrine, they don't have any scripture to stand on. But we have scripture that states that Esau came out red. And you're looking at it right there, Genesis 25 and 25. So, as you can clearly see from that scripture, that we have that scriptural precedent and affirmation that Esau is the father of the white race and not Japheth. So the next scripture I want to get into is Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 10, verses 1 through 5. All right, it's the table of nations here, getting into Japheth's line. And it reads, Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. That's verse 1. Verse 2. And the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Rephath, Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. All right, so that is Genesis 10, verses 1 through 4. Let's get verse 5 right quick. All right, so verse 5 reads, By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. So again, that's Genesis 10, chapter 10, verses 1 through 5. And it gives the table of nations and the breakdown for Japheth and his sons and some of his grandsons and the lands that they ended up peopling. If you do research, you can find out the areas that these people ended up occupying. I'm going to bring out some of that today. All right, so some of the sons that were mentioned were, the first one was Gomer. All right, so you can see from this particular chart, or this meme, that Gomer, he peopled the area of, which is the Caucasus Mountains in the Russia and Germany area. Also, we have Magog. Now, Magog, he peopled the land of Russia. And we have Madai. Madai, he occupied and peopled the land of Persia. Persia, the Medes and the Persians. And we had Javan. Everyone is familiar with Javan. That is the original black Greeks. So all of these sons were black. And his grandchildren were black of Japheth. So Javan is occupying the land of Greece and those islands around Greece. Then we have Tubal. Tubal is occupying the region of Spain. Then we have Meshech. Meshech is occupying the regions of Russia as well and parts of Turkey. And finally, we have Tyrus. Tyrus occupied the region of the Balkans. All right, so again, this particular meme gives you a breakdown showing you the location of where the descendants of Japheth ended up settling. So Japheth, again, he fathered Gomer. Gomer and his people, they ended up occupying the lands of Germany, as I stated before. Then we have Magog, another son that ended up occupying the Black Sea region of Russia. Then we have Madai, another son that occupied the region of Persia. That's over in Iran, the Iran area. And Javan, Another son that ended up peopling the region of Greece and those islands around Greece. These were all blacks. Then we have Tubal. Tubal ended up occupying regions of Spain as well as parts of Russia. And the seventh son is Meshech, which occupied regions of Russia. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit more clarification as far as getting into more of the breakdown of Japheth and the regions that he ended up occupying. All right, so this is from one of my posts on my Facebook group, Yashar Ministries, Make Straight the Way of Yahuwah. And I'm going to go ahead and read, and it says, clarification on who Japheth is. Japheth is not the so-called white or red people according to Scripture, but is black like his brothers Ham and Shem. First, let's get the true breakdown of the name Japheth, which is found in the Strong's Concordance, which is H3315, and is from H6601, which equals patah. Patah. And that means to delude, allure, deceive, entice, enlarge, and to open. So again, in Genesis chapter 10, verses 2 through 5, we read that, and it gives the breakdown on who the descendants of Japheth are, or were, and what regions they ended up occupying. So we went over that Gomer ended up occupying the regions of Germany as well as Armenia. All right, we have Ashkenaz, which is a grandson, also occupied the region of Germany. So again, we have Javan, which is Greece, the black Greeks. And we have Tarshish, which is another grandson, which occupied Spain or Iberia. And we have Kittim, which is a grandson which ended up occupying the region of Cyprus and Rome. These are the black Romans. And we have Magog, again, which occupied Russia. And finally, we have Madai, which is the Medes, which ended up occupying northern Iran and parts of Turkey. All right, so the verse states that by these, in verse 5, that says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles or heathens divided in their lands. These, of course, are European lands. In the book of Joshua, chapter 61, verse 24, it states that, and the children of Chittim, which is Rome, saw the valor of Zepho, an Edomite. And the children of Chittim, which is Rome, resolved, and they made Zepho, an Edomite, king over them. All right, so these people, the people of Chittim, are the descendants of Japheth. So these were black people that were descendants of Japheth, and they took a liking to the Edomite Zepho, and they made him king over them. All right, continuing on, and it says, and he became king over them, and whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal. All right, so again, Tubal is another descendant or son. So these are the descendants of Japheth in another region, which is parts of Spain or Iberia. So Zepho and the people of Chittim, they made war with Tubal and all of the surrounding islands. All right, so I'm going to go to another particular post from my group, and this one is called Cut to the Japheth Are White People. And Gog Magog is from Japheth, of Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39. And it reads, "And the Gentiles of Gog, Magog, are Edomites who took control away from the original inhabitants who were descendants of Japheth and were a black people. Do some research and you will see the original inhabitants of Russia / Gog Magog were black people known as the Cochins or Chochins, and they were black. In 522 through 443 BC, a Greek poet named Pindar described the Cochins, these black Russians, whom Jason and the Argonauts fought as being very dark-skinned. Then around 350 to 400 AD, Church Father Saint Jerome and Sophronius referred to Colchis as the second Ethiopia because of its black population. So this is a place in Russia that they're talking about here, with these black people, these Cochins, are inhabiting. All right, so in Book 2, Chapter 104 of his history, Herodotus states, "I believe the Cochins are the same as the Egyptians, because like them, they have black skin and woolly hair. Gog and Magog are simply Edomites who took control of this land. As you can see, the rulers of Russia are now so-called white men, not the original black men before 600 BC. All right, so this post brings out the fact of the Cochins that occupied Russia, and they controlled Russia. They ran that region. All right, so these people were overran by Edomites, invading Edomites, and they placed these people at the bottom of the socio-economic class. And these people just became like slaves or servants in their own country to these Edomites that took control, and they wrestled control away from them. So that is the Colchians. All right, so I'm going to read from another post I have on Yashar Ministries. And this one is entitled, "Japheth was black originally." All right, and it starts out, it says, "There are black Japhetic tribes in Europe that date back to 1600 BC. I will list a few of them. And the first one I'm going to list is the Pelagasians. The Pelagasians, these are black people that founded many cities in and around Greece. The Pelagasian founding of Athens, which is the capital of Greece, is noted by the historian Plutarch in his work Theseus, section 12, and Ovid in Metamorphoses 7, section 402. According to Herodotus 7, section 91, the Pelagasians also founded Thebes, which is another city in Greece. The term Pelagasian or Pelagasian was applied to all pre-Hellenic or all pre-Edomite inhabitants of Greece. Because just like all these other places, the Edomites ended up overrunning all these original black people, and they conquered them, and they rose and started ruling in their place, and they took on these people's names, and they took on these people's languages in many instances. The next group I'm mentioning is the Etruscans here, and it says, long before the days of Rome, Rome's greatness, which is the Edomites' greatness we're talking about, because we have two Romes. We have a black Rome and an Edomite or white Rome. All right, so long before the days of Rome's greatness, which is the white one, Italy was home of a black people far advanced in civilization. These people were referred to are called Etruscans. All right, so the next group, which I mentioned in the previous post, post that I had just read over there, And these are the black Cochins of Russia. I'm going to show some pics of all these groups in a minute. All right, so the next group is the black Illyrians of Bulgaria. All right, so Tyrus, which was one of the sons of Japheth, ended up occupying and settling in the region, parts of the region of Bulgaria and the Balkans. So these were the black Illyrians. All right, so the next group is the black Iceni of the British Isles, and many more of which were overrun by invading hordes of the Edomites or Latins or Caucasians. All right, so I'm going to read an excerpt from this writer. His name is David Livingstone, and the title of this work is called Black Terror, White Soldiers, Islam, Fascism, and the New Age. All right, and it reads, after the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrians, who dispersed them among the Medes, who lived in Iran in an area known as Media. The Medes, according to Greek mythology, were descended from Media, the Colchian witch, from the story of Jason and the Argonauts. According to the legend, Media later married Aegeus of Athens, after whom the Aegean Sea is named. The Medes were descended from their son Midas of Colchis. According to a description by Herodotus, a Greek historian of the 5th century BC, known as the father of history, the Chochins, who dwelt in the land located along the western slope of the Caucasus Mountains near the Black Sea, in what is now the state of Georgia, were black and probably Jewish. Like the Jews of Palestine, whom he referred to as Phoenicians, Herodotus also regarded the people of Colchis as deriving from an Egyptian colony. He not only pointed to the Colchians' black skin and woolly hair as evidence, but also to their oral traditions. All right, so here again we see that Herodotus mentions that the Colchians are these black Russians. These people had dark skin and woolly hair. All right, so these are, I'm going to get into now some of the pictures. All right, these people are referred to as the Minoans. And they lived in the islands in the Aegean Sea. And again, they date back, going all the way back to 1600 BC. So these are descendants of Japheth that occupied the islands of the Aegean Sea. You can see these people are clearly black. They're not white, as many people try to assert and claim that the ancient Japhites were white, and Japheth was born white supposedly, but there's no scripture to support that. All right, so here is a map showing the Aegean Sea, and we see Crete down at the bottom. This is the regions that the Minoans ended up occupying going back to 1600 BC. These were the black people I just showed you. These are the blacks here, descendants of Japheth, occupying the Aegean Sea. All right, so this is a modern, or more of a modern picture of what a black Russian looks like. So this picture comes from the 1800s. This is a black man from Russia, from southern Russia. All right, so going back to that picture. So he would be from the tribe of the Cochins, or Chochins, that we just read about, that Herodotus wrote, that said had black skin or dark skin and woolly hair. So he would be a descendant from those particular people. So the original Russians, again, those were black people. All right, so this is a picture of what the original Vikings looked like. So the original Vikings, those were black people as well. So we've been fed a lot of lies, from history, from school, from our teachers, from our parents, that were, taught lies as well, and they push these lies upon us. But there's a saying that says truth is stranger than fiction. But the Vikings were black people, all right? And the Vikings, they were the original founders of Russia. And it was a tribe of Vikings called the Varangians. Going back to 865 AD, and they founded Russia, the Varangian Vikings. They founded Russia. These were black men. So they would be from Magog, which is one of the grandchildren of Japheth, Magog. Well, one of the sons of Japheth. All right, so this is a picture of the Etruscans. Now, these are the black people that inhabited Rome before the white Edomites overran them and took them out of power and placed them in subservient positions, or menial positions. So this is what the original Japhetic descendants of Rome would look like back from 400 BC. All right, so this is more of a modern picture, like the early 1900s. This is a black man in the German army. So he would be a descendant from the son of Japheth named Gomer, because that particular son and his people ended up occupying the regions of Germany. So this man again would be from Germany, or from Gomer, and this is a black German. All right, this particular image is also an image of in Germany. This is the Elector Saxony Maurice. All right, so he was one of the rulers in Germany going back to 1540 to 1550 AD. You can clearly see that this is a black man, his woolly hair and his phenotype, the big lips and big nose. And this is our people that look like us, that's ruling over in Germany. And our people were overran there. We were overran all over the place. The black people were overran. And the white folks, the Edomites, they came in again. And they conquered us. They took our names and our languages. And they subjugated us. Subjugated all the people that looked like us. All right. If you get into coats of arms, you'll see in so many of the European coats of arms, you'll see black Moors. And this is a black Moor. It's a statue of a black Moor holding a Habsburg coat of arms. And this is a German coat of arms. And the reason that you see these blacks in so many of the European coats of arms is because the blacks ruled Europe and they were overrun. And you see the vestiges of their rulership is on these coats of arms. With these Edomites, they still, they want to put these blacks on their coats of arms, as letting their own people know their history. A lot of our people don't look deep enough in the history to research these things to find out the truth. All right, so this is a picture of a Mead Soldier. A Mead Soldier. So this particular guy would be a descendant of the son of Japheth named Madai. So Madai and his people ended up occupying the region of Iran, and they settled that region. And that's, you can clearly see this man has Negro phenotype. He has the woolly hair, and he's a Mead, and his ancestor is the son of Japheth named Madai. And this is Iran. He's from the Iran region. No white people. Again, you see, we don't see any white people from these pictures, ancient pictures. All right, so this next picture is the bronze bust of a lady of Ampurie. This is a part of Iberia or Spain, and it goes back to the 1st century. You can clearly see this woman is a black woman with the afro. So letting you know that these black people are descendants of Japheth that occupied Spain. And again, the son of Japheth that was in that region was Tubal. All right, and you can get some more history if you go to historyofmacedonia.org, and you can see that there was actually a great conflict that was going on between the black Greeks and the Macedonian Edomites. So the Macedonian Edomites, they ended up conquering the black Greeks, and then they took on the black Greeks' name and their culture and language, and it's all documented. And scripture also states that the Macedonians are Edomites. And you can find that in Esther chapter 16, verse 14. Again, that's Esther chapter 16, verse 14, that Macedonians are in fact Edomites. And you can look up the history of how the Macedonians had all these fights and wars with the black Greeks, and they ended up conquering the black Greeks. Again, the black Greeks are descendants of Javan. Javan is one of the black sons of Japheth. So we have all of this history proving that Japheth was a black man and his sons were black. There's no proof, no proof whatsoever that Japheth was born white or red. So you have to ask yourself a question: where is all of these lies coming from without any proof? And there's only one answer: Satan. He's here to bring confusion, and we're trying to bring out the truth and stop all of these lies. So again, I thank you for listening. And the title of this particular video again was Japheth, the black son of Noah. Thank you.